Hey guys, welcome back to another reaction video. You guys gonna be checking out 10 reasons why life is better in Europe than the USA. Okay, so let's check this out.
While no place is perfect, Europe comes pretty close. From the incredible food to show-stopping cities, it's no wonder so many Americans dream of moving to Europe permanently. Today we'll show you 10 reasons why life is better in Europe than the USA.
Okay, so people love
Number 10. European food traditions. While it varies so much from country to country, there's one thing we should all be able to agree on. European food is fantastic, even better than in the States. From fresh pasta in Italy to fondue in the Alps, Europe is full of food that will make anyone's mouth water, no matter how picky they are. Eating your way through Europe is a great way to experience the different flavors, ingredients, and cultural influences that make each country's cuisine distinct. There will definitely be some options that American travelers could think are strange, but the majority of them are excellent once you give it a shot. Who knew one day I'd become obsessed with escargot or frog's legs? And don't even get me started on the amazing...
Is that frog? Are you serious? Is that frog? Frog legs, you guys. So she said meaning US, like Americans, are moving down to Europe because they never thought that would ever happen. And their food, like Euro food, like you guys, like mouth-watering food, like food that gets you still on your taste of your mouth, like after finish eating, you guys. And she actually said, who will ever let her, like, who will ever know that she will ever taste frog legs, And you guys, I was like, is that really frog?
Coffee and wine, or we'll never stop talking.
Amazing.
Number 9, amazing transportation. Transportation is faster, cheaper, and run way more efficiently in Europe. Europe is so well connected that it's much easier to get around despite it being about 20% bigger than the US. The engineering feats are world famous. Did you know that you could take a high-speed train going under the ocean from France to England? Or a train from Rome to Sicily that literally gets on a ferry? There's hardly even a need to get a driver's license in Europe. Even small towns are connected by bus or train, and of course, Europe is famous for budget airlines like Ryanair or EasyJet that can be mind-blowingly cheap. Not a fan of flying? Go green and travel Europe by train. Check out our other videos on European train travel. Number 8, more time off. In case you haven't heard, they take their holidays very seriously in this part of the world. European culture and customs are drastically different in each country. There are literally thousands of festivals around Europe celebrating anything and everything you can think of, each of them bringing people together to celebrate and honor various aspects of their history, religion, and regional identity. What better way to get a taste of a country than attending a festival? Couple this with the generous amount of paid vacation Europeans receive, 4 weeks on average, and you've got a completely different lifestyle. This also means more time to spend with your family and just to live life outside of work. Also, because of how easy it is to get around to different countries, there's so many places to explore.
Oh my god, you guys, the transportation is beautiful because it's really connected to each other. Like, it's even hard for you to get a driver's license. Like, you don't really need it because you are so connected to each other, and they actually celebrate everything, anything, they like in the Europe, they celebrate anything, everything, and they don't take their holidays, like their holidays for granted. You guys, they cherish it because it's actually a time for them to feel more bond, more connected to the family, and going visiting beaches and all those good stuff, you guys. I'm actually learning. I'm not from the Europe, but this is actually beautiful, you guys.
Number 7, quality of life. In the States, we live life at 1,000 miles an hour. Between the commuting, the long hours of work, and the lack of vacation time, there is less time to relax, and a lot of people put off traveling until they're retired. But where's the fun in that? Europeans, on the other hand, are masters of the work-life balance, and it means the world to them. It's no wonder the French are putting up such a stink over their retirement being pushed back 2 years. After moving to Europe and getting to know people on a personal level, you get the feeling that they work to live, not live to work. This means by moving to Europe, you're likely to have more vacation time, shorter work days, and more time to enjoy life. In many countries throughout Europe, businesses literally shut down so employees can have a rest or spend some extra time with their family during the day. Who wouldn't want to live more and work less?
You guys, they actually work to live, not work to live. Like, they work to live, not work to live. Something like that. That is actually a very strong one. And they don't take the vacation for play, you guys. The retirement is something that they like, you guys. I love this. I love this. I love this. Like, they take vacations for, like, to be a very big thing. In some certain areas, some businesses are being shut down just to, just because the offices or the business have actually gone on vacation, because they cherish their physical health very, very well, because you're working to take care of your health. You're working to enjoy yourself, not working so hard not to enjoy your money. Yeah.
Number 6,
Good
healthy
health.
lifestyle.
Wow.
Between the amount of walking you'll do, accompanied by the more natural food options
I love
available,
natural
it's
food.
significantly easier to live a healthy and active lifestyle in Europe. Just look at the European breakfast. Humble but flavor-packed pastries and espressos replace breakfast sandwiches and giant sugary coffees. And with all the street food vendors and bakeries selling fresh, less processed treats, you'll naturally avoid the familiar fast food chains that are prevalent in big cities. Although it is pretty entertaining to see Euro versions of McDonald's that sell beer and wine. It's worth mentioning that Europeans are less into snacking in the first place. Restaurant portions are generally much smaller, which is why it's so rare to find takeaway boxes. Combine all of that with the great healthcare systems and cost of living in Europe, and you can see why they're able to live such a healthy, enviable lifestyle. Number 5, lower cost of living. Even though the euro is slightly stronger than the US dollar, there's one thing that can't be debated. The cost of living in Europe is much cheaper than the USA. Sure, cities like Paris and London aren't cheap, but neither is San Francisco or New York. European salaries are much lower than American ones, but they pay more in taxes, which contributes to their fabulous healthcare and education system. This makes the smaller salaries feel much more livable, and if you're making an American salary, you'll probably notice that certain things like hotels, food, and transport are surprisingly affordable, especially in Eastern Europe. Number 4, higher education. Education is a completely different experience in Europe, with the most noticeable contrast being the actual cost of attending a university. Colleges are very inexpensive in most places in Europe, and some countries even make it completely free to enroll. While most young people in the US graduate with instant debt, countries like Germany and Sweden have chosen to put their tax money towards free universities for all. This alone makes the cost of living in Europe cheaper than the US. My one-year master's program in Paris costs 300 euros. If you'd be interested in seeing a video about how to study in France, comment the code word MASTER.
Oh my god, you guys. The health medical center is actually good. Like, one thing that people look forward to going to a particular country is the health medical center. Is it okay? Like, it's quite very, very affordable, you guys, and that's so beautiful. Life in Europe is less expensive, you guys. That is like, but there's something she said, like, the tax rate is actually very high, and that's why they could afford the health, the health stuff, making it subsidized for the country, for the citizens, you guys.
Number 3, European culture and history. As a melting pot for almost every country in the world, America is filled with plenty of history and diversity. Yet, as far as history goes, so much of what we have in the US originally comes from Europe. The food, languages, traditions, and many of the very names we go by originate from across the Atlantic Ocean. When you consider the fact that American history only goes back a few hundred years, seeing architecture that's thousands of years old in Europe is quite remarkable. It's common in Europe to see establishments that are significantly older than the whole United States. Can you imagine if each
Wow.
US state had its own language, culture, and foods for you to embrace? There's so many things we love about this region, but the rich history and diversity are truly something to behold. Number 2, restaurant etiquette. Things you may take for granted in the US are not always free or even available in Europe. Sure, you won't get complimentary ice water at a restaurant, and you might find yourself paying to use bathrooms, but what you will get is a slow, sacred meal experience where you're encouraged to take time to savor each dish without feeling rushed out. A three-course meal might sound fancy for Americans, but it's completely common in Europe. You might also be surprised that your waiter won't pop in to see how your food is, or even bring you the bill unless you ask for it. But the trade-off is that you won't have to calculate a 20% tip afterwards. Tipping is a less prominent tradition in Europe, although you still need to do your homework and research from country to country. Of course, when in doubt, you can always show your appreciation by leaving a couple euros. Be sure to check out last week's video, Top 10 Culture Shocks Americans Will Have in Europe, to see what other customs are different. Before we reveal the number one reason why life in Europe is better than in the US, if you're enjoying this video, please consider subscribing to help us reach our goal of 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year. Number 1. Europe is fun. Europeans know a thing or two about how to enjoy life. And since they're less preoccupied by the stress of life, work, and cost of living, they're generally happier. And who doesn't want to go somewhere people are happy? Combine this with all the beautiful places and exciting year-round activities, there's simply no shortage of fun to be had in Europe, whatever your interests are. From summers along the Mediterranean Sea to winters skiing in the Alps, you'll never find yourself bored in Europe or far from welcoming people. And if you're like me, you might not ever want to leave. So, have we convinced you that Europe is better than the US? Let us know in the comments. Thanks for watching How to Europe.
You guys, like, I know that anytime I'm doing some documentaries about Europe, one thing about it is that they're olden days, like the buildings that are even more, that are even more older than the USA is actually still standing in the Europe till today. And that actually make me so like, how is this possible, you guys? Amazing things about the Europe, and I'm beginning to like, what is going on? Am I having a second thought, you guys? Anyway, thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to like this video, don't forget to subscribe. Okay, tell me your own experience and why you think that life is better in Europe than the USA in the comment section. Thank you so much. I'll see you in my next one. Bye.